How do you create thumbnails that get the click? So many creators struggle with that problem. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a few basic principles that I've learned on how to create thumbnails that get the click. Are you ready? Welcome to YouTube Talk. I'm Denise Jordan, and I teach women how to grow their influence through YouTube. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, then hit that subscribe button and double tap that little bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Okay, let's talk about thumbnails. First of all, the thumbnails that I create today are not like the thumbnails that I created when I first got started on YouTube. Today's thumbnails are usually much cleaner, much larger, they're much better. And the number of words on the thumbnail is kept to a minimum. Here's a good example. This one is from my How to Keep White Shirts White video. I think this is a pretty good thumbnail, so let's examine it. It's nice and clean. The image is large enough to be seen easily on a cell phone. There are less than 5 words on it, and the font is easy to read. There are no feet on the font and no cursive writing. It meets all the requirements for a good thumbnail. Now this happens to be a purchased photo. I bought it off pixabay.com for the price of a cup of coffee. And I needed an image of a man's white shirt in pristine condition, and this one fit my needs perfectly. Note my personal branding in the upper right corner. And if you're interested in seeing more of this photographer's work, I will link his information in the description box. Now take a look at this thumbnail. In this one, I tried to convey a little bit of frustration or angst about playlists. I wanted you to know that I've been struggling. So let me ask you this. Do you find the expression on my face interesting? Does it look as if I'm concerned about something? Does my expression make you wonder, what's going on here? Would this image get your click? Tell me in the comment section. Let's examine the background while we're here. Is it busy? Or for the most part, is it unobtrusive? And note how many words are on this image. 5 or less is the goal. And is there any personal branding? I believe this one is from the One Pot Challenge, and it's an image of my chicken stew with carrots, chickpeas, and couscous. I wanted to really feature the food in this thumbnail. So let's examine the image. First of all, I got as close as I could with my lens. I really wanted you to be able to see each detail. So do you feel as if you can almost taste the chicken? Can you make out the couscous? Are the carrots colorful? So what message do you think the words on the image conveys? And then, is the image clean or is it busy? And what's in the background? And note, we've got 3 words on a black bar, the bar being used to help the words stand out. The font is clean and solid, and there are no feet. There's no cursive writing, it's just plain and simple. And again, note my personal branding, the logo, and then the green box around the image. Now we've looked at 3 pretty good thumbnails. But let me just say, my thumbnails have not always looked like this. It has been a growing process. And at one point, my little granddaughter said, "Grandma, your pictures are horrible." So needless to say, I needed to improve my thumbnail game. So let's just back up for a second and let you take a look at one of my earlier ones. Note the font, first of all. How easy is it to read? Keep in mind that whereas you may be able to read cursive writing, everyone cannot. I really didn't pay much attention to this until I had posted a slide. It was a makeup video, and I had listed some of the makeup products in the video on the slide, and one of my viewers wrote in and said she couldn't read anything that I had put on the slide, so she didn't know what any of the products were. Now, I took a class on how to put together slides and other information for online classes. And one of the things we were taught to avoid was cursive writing and font with feet. So why did I break all of the rules for this thumbnail? Well, I thought it was cute. And whereas I would not have done this on something I was putting together for student use for one of my online classes, why I thought it would work here on a video, I have no idea. But just look at this hot mess. I mean, I knew what it was supposed to say, but how easily could others read it? And also note that part of the words are in my hair and on my hand. So tell me in the comments section how all of this affects your readability. And note the color of the font. It runs over my shirt and it blends in. This was definitely not the best color choice for easy legibility. I would have better served my audience if I had used a plain font like Oswald with black lettering, or possibly a stronger, bolder color, maybe blue, but not that red, which was similar to the shirt that I had on. So what do I mean by font with no feet? Well, let me show you. The font in the title has no feet. Look at the lines on the letters, but the font in the phrases at a heading has feet. And I've underlined them so you can see what I mean. The A, the H, the D, the I, and the N all have feet. It's that little bar on the base of the letter. Those are feet. It is considered best practice in online documents to use font with no feet. And a YouTube video and a thumbnail is an online document. All right, so let's take a look at this what I got for Christmas thumbnail. How well do you like it? Is the font legible? Is the background busy? How many words are on the image? From what I know now, this one is just too busy. The background has too much going on and there are way too many words on the thumbnail. Plus, my logo is too large. I should have made it smaller and placed it down by the handbag. The purpose of the logo is just so you know it's mine. So a smaller image of the logo would have worked. Now compare the what I got for Christmas thumbnail with this one, Rooster Love. Note just two words, Rooster Love. And the bars behind the words help them to stand out. Is the background busy or is it plain? Where is the personal branding and is it obtrusive? I really like this particular image. I think I did a great job setting this thumbnail up. My facial expression is happy and you can see the items on the tray easily. So here's another older thumbnail. Don't ask me why, but I used to put a bar across the middle of the image so you couldn't see the whole picture. I wanted you to have to click on it before you could see the whole design. What are your thoughts about that practice? Tell me in the comments section. And look at how many words I put on the banner for the image. Plus, you're looking at the whole tablescape and a little bit of the background as well. Then I put in a sidebar for branding. So let me ask you about the tablescape. Can you see it all? Do you need to see it all? What do you think is working? What's not working on this thumbnail? Tell me in the comment section. Now let's take a look at this tablescape. What's the difference? Let's start with what you actually see. Is it busy? Does the close-up allow you to see what the place setting looks like? What detailing can you pick out? The beading on the bowl and the beading on the gold plate is a nice detail that can easily be seen from this thumbnail. The scalloped edges on the white plate stands out. And then you can also note the metallic gleam of the charger and the fork. These are details that you can pick out from the thumbnail. It's up close and it's personal. Then look at the words on the image. Farmhouse table for two. Do you get a farmhouse vibe that is reinforced by the words on the image? How many words are on the image? Are they easy to read? Remember, we said the number of words on the thumbnail should be 5 or less. On this particular thumbnail, we've got 4. Now there's a lot going on in this image, and it's certainly not a stellar example of a thumbnail. But what's working here? What kind of expression do I have on my face? What am I thinking? Do the words in the image give you a glimpse into my dilemma? And how distracting is that messy refrigerator door? Is the personal branding consistent, or is it distracting? Tell me in the comments section. In retrospect, there is way too much going on that refrigerator door. I probably should have straightened it out before I did the video. But I do like the facial expression that I have. It's kind of perplexed or perplexing, so it lets you know that there's something going on in my head. Now let's look at this one. Again, not a stellar example, but I was trying to focus on the chocolate stains on the white shirt and not on myself. So I'm hoping that my face just kind of blends or fades into the background. My goal was to have the chocolate stain front and center. And then I wanted the words on the image to let you know what the problem is and what the video is about. Did I accomplish that? Tell me in the comment section below. Now, what message do you get from this thumbnail? My thoughts were that Sunday dinners are a little bit more pulled together than weeknight meals, so hence the chicken, dressing, carrots, greens, and the muffin. Plus, I'm hoping that the words Sunday dinner is going to conjure up certain images in the minds of the viewers. Sunday dinner is a thing, and I wanted to represent that thing with this thumbnail. This image is pretty clean. A dark background, and here I am, front and center, holding a stack of white towels. Note the words are over to the left, and again, dark lettering on a white background. And the words are large enough to be read from a cell phone. If you are interested in soft, fluffy towels, I'm thinking this image will get you to click. And look at what I did here. 3 words that are smaller. They add some information, but if not readable from a cell phone, the larger words let you know what the video is about. This, in conjunction with the title, gives you complete information about this video. Here's more food, and in this image, I wanted the corn to take center stage. Everything else is pretty much blurred out, but the corn is up close and personal. You almost want to take a bite. And note, there are just 2 words: fresh corn. Here's an image from my Christmas Kitchen Vignette 2019 challenge. Notice how I focused on everything in the tray. It's all clearly seen, and I did not put any words on the thumbnail. I let the title and the words on the items in the vignette do the talking. The background is the lettuce green wall. There is so much going on in the vignette, nothing else was needed. Personal branding is there in the lower right-hand corner, but it's unobtrusive. Now in this one, whereas I was pleased with how the thumbnail turned out, can you really see the chocolatey dessert? This was from my chocolate mousse video, and I would have been better served to have featured a better image of the chocolate mousse. So here's a question for you. Would this thumbnail get your click? And how can I improve on it? Tell me in the comment section below. And this baked in a pie is from my how to make a turkey pot pie video. What are your thoughts when you see this image? What do the words do for you? And would this one get your click? Since so many of you do grocery hauls, I wanted to make sure we took a look at an image for a grocery haul in this video. So there are bags and stuff and produce everywhere. Can you make out a few things up front? Do the bags and the other things kind of fade into the background, or are they distracting? Tell me in the comment section. I'm thinking that the 2 words, Kroger Love, lets you know I went to Kroger, and the title, Let's Go Krogering, Kroger Grocery Haul, will do the rest. Would this grocery haul thumbnail get your click? So here is one of my more recent thumbnails. This one is from How to Boil an Egg That Peels Perfectly. I wanted to show a nice yellow egg yolk with no dark ring around the yolk. What are your thoughts on this image? Should I have gotten closer, zoomed in on the egg yolks? Maybe put a few more eggs in the picture? Should I have used a different color plate? Or maybe I should have kept my fingers out of the way. Give me your thoughts on this thumbnail in the comment section. All right, so here is the last one for us to examine. I'm planning to use it for an upcoming video when I'm in the laundry lab. How does this image work for you? Will it get your click? So based on the things we've just talked about and the images we've just looked at, some good, some better, and some needing a lot of work, critique this thumbnail. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Now let me point out a few things that I was trying to do, and you can let me know whether or not I managed to get it done. I wanted you to see that bottle of barbecue sauce and recognize it right away. I also wanted you to see the spill, thick and dark on the tablecloth, some kind of accident that typically happens at home. I was working with the 5 words or less rule to convey that there was a problem. And of course, my personal branding had to be there somewhere. So what are your thoughts? Critique this thumbnail in the comment section. So let's summarize what's what when it comes to creating good thumbnails. First of all, less is more. What does that mean? Well, it means that you have backgrounds that are not too busy. You want them as clean and clutter-free as possible. Your wordage should be kept to a minimum. Remember, 5 words or less on a thumbnail. And you don't want to use font with feet. You want to use font that is clean, that is simple, and that's easy to read. And keep in mind that most people look at the internet and YouTube from their cell phones. So you want to make sure that your images and your wordage is large enough to be seen easily on a cell phone. And as far as colorful font, it can work, but you just need to make sure that the font is still simple and clean and easy to read. Now, the other thing you want to do is plan ahead. Plan your thumbnails prior to shooting your video. Set it up, shoot the thumbnails, and then do your video, or at least have thought out what you want the thumbnails to be. Shoot the video and then set it up and shoot the thumbnails after you do the video. Now, can you capture a screenshot from your video? Yes, you can. But the problem with that is that you may not always get just the right image. And the other thing is that sometimes those images are not crisp or clear. Sometimes there's a little bit of a blur on them. So it's best if you can get a photograph of your thumbnail rather than a captured screenshot. But if push comes to shove and that's all you have, then make sure you capture a really nice image. The other thing to keep in mind is that your thumbnail is prime real estate. You have limited opportunity to let the YouTube algorithm know what your video is about. One of those opportunities is the thumbnail. The other opportunity is the title. And so you should not repeat the words on your thumbnail that you have in your title. They should complement one another or work together. Don't use the same words on the thumbnail that you use on the title. Let me show you an example of what I mean. Here's the thumbnail and here's the title. So do you see how these are meant to work together? And there's one other source of metadata that you don't want to overlook. When you upload your thumbnail to your video, the YouTube algorithm will collect the title of your thumbnail and it will be somewhere in that metadata. So you want to make sure that you title your thumbnails in accordance with your video and your title. Now, you don't want to title it the same thing, but again, it should complement whatever the video is about. Here's an example of what I mean. So if you're using Canva, or if you're using PicMonkey or any other software that you're editing your thumbnails in, when you save your thumbnail, it will ask you to name it. So rather than using the number that the camera might have assigned to it. You want to give that thumbnail a name, and you want it to be something that is searchable. So choose a title, a name that means something to you and the algorithm. So when you look at this screenshot of my folder from a project that I was working on, you can see that some of the thumbnails just have the number that the camera assigned to them, and then some of the thumbnails that I've tweaked or treated have a title assigned to them that I've given them based upon the work I did with that thumbnail. For this thumbnail, I gave it the file name, How to Remove Barbecue Sauce Stains. And note, the title or the file name is searchable and complements the title and the words on the image. This is just one more piece of data that helps YouTube figure out what your video is about. If you're struggling with thumbnails, what are some sources that can be helpful to you? Well, I love Canva. I think it's a great resource. It is free. There's also some paid professional options, but you can create beautiful thumbnails and beautiful graphics with Canva. I will link it below so that you can check it out. And there's also Capwing and Pixlr. These are free resources to help you develop good thumbnails. PicMonkey is a paid service, and I absolutely love PicMonkey as well. I think you can do more with PicMonkey than you can with Canva, but you can create beautiful thumbnails with each of them. Several of my YouTube friends use Filmora, and some of them use Movavi to edit their thumbnails. Now, I've not used those resources myself, but some of my friends swear by them. So you can explore these various resources and see how they work for you. Adobe Photoshop is another resource that I do love, but there's a steep learning curve with Adobe Photoshop. And if you're into Adobe, there is a free Adobe software called Adobe Sparks. And for the most part, it is free, but there are some limitations to that particular software. And the upgrade is the Adobe Suites system itself. And it can be a little bit pricey, but I think it's well worth the price if you're able to sort out the learning curve. One of my YouTube friends told me about a video that just came out recently, and it is called How to Create Custom Thumbnails for YouTube 2020, and it's by Drost Video. And he really provides some very good information in that video. Some of the information is similar to the information that I provided for you today, but he's got a lot of other things included in that video that I don't have here. So I think it'd be well worth your time to check that video out. And so I will link it below so that you can take a look at it. Another resource out there that can help you create great thumbnails is Roberto Blake. He is a graphic designer by trade, so he's got lots of wonderful templates that you can use to make beautiful thumbnails. And you can purchase this package from him. I will link his channel below, but here's the thing. I think you've got to be a little bit familiar with Adobe Photoshop to be able to use them. But I'll let you check it out, and then you can make that decision for yourself. So here's the question of the day. Did this video help you learn how to put together better thumbnails? If the answer is yes, give me a thumbs up and drop me a yes, it was helpful in the comment section below. And if you like this video, be sure to check out my How to Create a Playlist video. I will link it in the comment section below. And don't forget, if you want to get started doing product reviews on your channel, download my free product review checklist. I will link that in the description box, and all you have to do is put in your email address to get access to it. And if you're interested in tips, talk, and strategy on how to grow your YouTube channel, subscribe to YouTube Talk. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying goodbye. I will see you next time.